good, the bad, and the odd. They do go on.
Welcome to this episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Odd with your hosts, Mark and Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hello there.
Right, so today is our free pick, and it was your turn. So do you want to tell everyone what you picked?
So I decided to pick, what was the last big Universal remake that was inarguably good?
Yeah?
It's The Mummy.
Yeah.
It's The Mummy.
Yeah.
Because I've seen a lot of people talking about the Dark Universe recently.
Yeah.
Not because of anything in particular, it's just a lot of people getting weirdly retroactively nostalgic for it.
Yeah, indeed. I'm trying to think what there has been. I mean, the Wolfman wasn't part of that Dark Universe, but it is a remake of the Wolfman, right? That was 2010 or something.
Yeah,
and then there was...
seen that one though, so...
Yeah.
There's like your smattering of Frankensteins and Draculas.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, I guess. But I was just trying to think what fits into
this
that
is
world.
kind of the outlier here. Is in the Mummy wasn't really that big of a film, the original one. Nothing much happens in it. There's no real. The monster isn't that scary. He just looks like a regular guy for most of it.
It's more a kind of interesting curio than scary or. It's definitely not up there with like your Frankensteins and your Draculas.
No, it's not as as iconic that in that.
Yeah,
sort of way.
I mean, even Invisible Man's more iconic, I think. But
yeah.
Karloff's the image of Karloff at the moment is pretty iconic. But the actual film, not so much. And this is kind of a remake of that because it's the same Mummy, isn't it?
Well, it's the same Mummy and a lot of the same names being used.
Yeah.
So,
this was one. Written and directed by Stephen Sommers, who was touting this around for quite some time. But before him, there was someone else. There was various scripts going around, but he basically Indiana Jonesed it up a bit, and they kind of went
probably
for
the best.
Oh yeah, definitely. Good pick, interesting pick. Now it was there was I think three others actually. There was The Mummy Returns. Was it the Scorpion? Is it the Scorpion?
Yeah, so there's Mummy Returns, and then there's a whole sub-franchise of the Scorpion King. There's like 5 of those.
Oh, you're joking! I didn't know that.
No, I'm not.
Wow.
Only like one of them has The Rock in.
Wow.
They replace him. So
that's mad. Okay. All right. Well, we're not going to talk about those.
And then, you know what? Just because I know this is a fun bit of trivia for this, Stephen Sommers also went on to do G.I. Joe: Rise of Cobra.
Right.
Brendan Fraser makes a cameo in that as a character.
Right.
And both of them say that it's a descendant of Rick in this.
Wow. How about that?
So that's just like their weird little fun behind the scenes character thing.
Yeah. It's good to see Brendan Fraser. I always like Brendan Fraser. He disappeared for quite some time for personal reasons, I think. Yeah. And he's kind of back now.
Yeah.
And lauded for his acting.
Yeah. I think he's set up to get an Oscar.
Well, that's amazing. I always liked him. George of the Jungle is a particularly great, fun film, and he's also pretty good in this. But he's done some serious drama as well. I remember, for example, I think he was in a film about James Whale, the director James Whale, called Gods and Monsters, and he played like his gardener, and it was like a drama between the two of them. That was all right too. Anyway, this is Brendan Fraser, Rachel Weisz. Rachel Weisz was really good.
Yeah.
Why isn't she in more stuff? Or, for...
I think she had a kid and quit.
Yeah, she's married to Daniel Craig, isn't she? Yeah. John Hannah and Arnold Vosloo. And it's kind of set in the 20s, is that right?
Yeah, it's vaguely 20s-ish. They've got, like, firearms, but they're still... It's more reliable to just pull out a sword. So...
Yeah, and interestingly, it starts with him kind of being in the Foreign Legion, which is odd.
Yeah, that's a really odd one. We've got an American and I think he's Hungarian, the actor.
Yeah, well, the Foreign Legion is made up of non-French men
sure.
in the rank. No, sorry, in the enlist. Oh, what am I trying to say? Like the privates and that are all non-French. That's kind of the point of the Foreign Legion.
So basically Rick O'Connell, our dashing lead character here, he found a ancient city where a horrendous being was buried and kept secret.
Yeah,
titular mummy. So.
Yeah, and we kind of see it because the Foreign Legion are having a fight with like the Bedouin or sort of mounted Arabs and basically he's almost last man standing, and they all leave, and he's like, he thinks he's going to die, but they all just ride away really quickly, and it's because he's under the statue of like a dog.
Set, I think.
Yeah, so. the dog god, right?
That doesn't really narrow it down, but yeah,
that one. And then something weird happens, like something's almost like moving under the sand and throwing sand up around him, and he just runs off as well. But he knows there's something weird going on. It opened, it was 1999, this film, had mixed reviews, but it was a big success. I don't know what the reviews, why they were mixed, because it seems like a good fun film to me. With unless you're weighing too much, unless you're comparing it to the seriousness of the first one, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. We also see a bit of backstory, which Hammer did in some of their mummy films. We see a bit of backstory.
Yeah, we get the backstory of Imhotep.
Yeah,
he was like their chief priest.
Yeah, I looked into this. Imhotep was a real character, a major architect, wasn't he, in Egyptian history? So it's kind of interesting. And it basically he's carrying on with the mistress of the pharaoh.
Yeah, Anuk-Sunamun. So it's Anuk-Sunamun in this, and then in the original it's Anuk-Sunamun.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and it's interesting how Seti, the pharaoh Seti, realises this, because no one's supposed to touch her. She's got this she's painted kind of gold with black designs on, and there's a bit on her arm that is smudged, which means someone's touched her, and so the pharaoh gets like very cross.
Imhotep and Anuk-Sunamun proceed to stab him to death as these golden guys kind of watch.
These priests, and then she gets killed, doesn't she? Well,
she tells him to run off. Doesn't she stab herself?
She stabs herself.
Yeah,
but the idea is he's going to bring her back alive using magic or
dark magic. The book of the dead, which can bring you back to life.
And he goes and recovers the body and starts doing it, but midway through the thingy, the ceremony or whatever,
they get interrupted and it can't be completed, and they proceed to mummify Imhotep and all of his followers.
Yeah, and bury him alive with flesh-eating scarabs.
Yeah, which gave him superpowers, which I feel is counterintuitive to a guy you want to torture.
Yeah, very weird. And basically set up a permanent station to make sure he doesn't get out, which seems like a really weird way of doing things.
Yeah.
And he's buried underneath the statue of God Anubis. Anubis is the god we see. Anubis. Meanwhile, in Cairo, we get a brother and sister played by John Hannah and Rachel Weisz, Jonathan and Evelyn. They uncover some weird box and map.
Yeah,
right?
they what was it? So Jonathan he says he wins the box gambling, but then he later admits that he pickpocketed it from Rick O'Connell, Brendan Fraser, who's in prison for fighting everyone.
And we see Ahmed Jalili as like the prison warder.
Yeah, that was weird. I wasn't expecting Ahmed Jalili.
Yeah, it's good to see him in stuff. And they're gonna kill Rick. And actually, Rick does get a noose around his neck and dropped, but he doesn't break his neck.
A little bit of behind the scenes trivia for that. He actually got choked out because of that and had to be resuscitated.
Oh my god, that's terrible.
When Brendan Fraser say these movies physically broke him, I'm
not surprised. Also, I should have mentioned there's a ratty guy in the Foreign Legion with him called Benny.
Yeah. He's a complete coward.
Complete coward.
Like he just runs at the first sign of anything.
Yeah, he looks ill as well. He's kind of pasty and. But some sort of Eastern European. Or
yeah, well, the
something?
actor's Hungarian, so I guess we'll just roll with that.
Okay. So he and
Such
basically,
a chancer, though. I think Benny was my favourite character. Just because
I quite liked him.
scumbag he is.
Yeah, I quite liked him. And they basically the brother and sister go. Once Jonathan admits he stole it from this guy, they go to the prison because they want to find out. They want to get to the city.
They want to get to the holy city of Hamunaptra.
Yeah.
Because it'll be like the biggest archaeological find ever.
So she's trying to make a deal with the warder as he's about to be executed. And sort of keeps talking about. And she then says, we might have uncovered that. She admits to the warder they've done this, and he goes. And they start making a deal, She says, I'll give you 10%. He goes, 50. And then there's 50, a bit of comedy.
20, 30, 25, deal. Damn it.
Yeah, because he said 30. She said 30 and he said 25. It's kind of funny. But he goes along with them because of that, right? So essentially this little ragtag bunch go off looking for this city.
Go wandering through the desert and they happen to bump into some Americans also doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. But they're being led by Rick's friend Benny, friend? I don't know, his friend. His friend Benny.
Well, at the first chance he throws him off the boat, so...
Yeah. And then there's some... Indiana Jones has shenanigans on a boat on fire with Arabs attacking, but then we find out the Arabs are this special
There's
guard.
Some great quick lines in here, like where Omar Jalili runs up. It's like, what do we do? He goes, and Brendan Fraser goes, wait here, I'll get help, and jumps off the boat, and he just sort of stands there for a moment and goes,
so there's basically two groups looking for this thing. One's being led by Benny American. They're not at odds particularly. They're just
kind of friendly in friendly competition.
Yeah. So Evelyn. Now I was wondering about some of the names here because Evelyn sounded like. I thought there was an actress called Evelyn Ankers that was in the Mummy film, so I assumed for years that this character was named after that actress. But then when I looked it up, that actress, who was in other horror films, was never in a Mummy film. So I don't know what I'm trying to remember here. So that was weird. Anyway, I think she's called Evelyn. So they're trying to get to this place. I'm trying to remember what happens because it was a fairly frantic film. Film, but fun.
Very fun.
Very fun.
So there's a pretty fun bit where they try to demonstrate that a whole mountain could be hidden by a mirage, and you have to wait until sunrise to be able to see it. Right. That was very silly. Then they do have a little bit of a fun race, but eventually they do wake up the mummy.
At one point, when the boat sinks, Benny crawls across the river. We got the horses or something, and Brendan Fraser's like, but we're on the right side of the river. So there's a bit of that, and they essentially kind of get there. And Evelyn just sitting there, finds the Book of the Dead, and she starts reading it aloud.
Yeah, this is. Anyone in a horror movie, if you find a book, don't read it aloud.
Especially one called Book of the Dead. There's a hint there. So basically this awakens Imhotep. Now, we have to talk a bit about the CGI.
I love it. It's charming. It's bad, but it's charming.
Oh, it's bad. Oh, it was bad. I don't remember it being this bad. I thought it was okay. I remember Scorpion King being particularly bad.
When it's like whole body like CG, I think it's okay. When it's like just a bit of his face, or when they're stretching his mouth open and he's like a normal guy, that's what it really shows.
No,
and the bugs digging under the skin.
Yeah, that was
like they just warped it a bit.
I also thought the whole skeleton walking around looked pretty awful as well, actually, myself. So essentially, they awaken the mummy and
starts going around ripping people's organs out.
Yeah. So they all run away.
Benny gets caught by the mummy.
Benny gets caught by the mummy, who promises him gold.
Well, no, there's this whole comedy shenanigans bit where he's he pulls out like a cross and starts praying. He looks at him and goes, "No, okay," and then pulls out another religious thing and starts praying to that, and then pulls out another thing. Eventually, pulls out a Star of David and starts speaking in Hebrew. And this mummy from ancient Egypt goes, "Oh, the language of the slaves. You're a slave. Okay, you come with me."
Yeah. That's kind of interesting, that was.
Yeah.
And basically, they find out that when he regenerates his full strength, which he does by killing people, mostly the Americans, actually.
Yeah, it's because it's a double whammy. It's the box that they find the Book of the Dead in contains his canoptic jars. And all the Americans take one each.
Yeah, and so he's getting revenge for taking the jars.
But he's also taking any other missing organs.
Yeah.
For example, he takes one guy's eyes and tongue.
Oh, yeah, that was grim. That was grim.
I like that it gave him his bad vision. So
yeah, that was funny. What made me laugh is they were saying, "Oh no, he's going to bring the 10 plagues of Egypt back," and it's like, wow, they are really mixing up their history, and because the 10 plagues of Egypt wasn't Egyptians, right?
Yeah,
it specifically wasn't.
Not the Egyptians that did that.
It was done to the
Egyptians.
Egyptians.
I guess is also a weird way to confirm God is a real thing in the universe.
Yeah.
On top of the Egyptian gods.
Yeah.
And I guess Chinese deities for later on, but yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
So,
meanwhile, they are the Arabs that kind of attack them on the boat are basically this brotherhood to try and stop Imhotep rising. And now Imhotep's rising.
Purely to stop people digging them up and waking them up.
Yeah, but they've done it. So now those guys are trying to help them rather than keep them away. That's the kind of idea.
Yeah, it's funny because they kind of loop back to Evelyn's boss, who was a friend of her parents.
Right.
And he's literally talking with one of the Magi, and his introduction is basically, "You complete dumbasses. Why the hell would you do that?"
Yeah.
It's just a full-on dressing down by this guy for quite a while.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. I liked the whole vibe. It kind of worked pretty well, I have to say. It all went well, and essentially, it's a bit of a Dracula plot in that it's like, he's going to use Evelyn to resurrect his long lost love, so they can live together, and all this kind of business. So there's a bit of that. So Imhotep's slowly getting more and more human.
He's becoming more human-like, and they're trying to figure out how to kill this guy.
Yeah.
Basically, they figure out that there's another book. Their big magic book, the other one has the instructions to kill him.
Yeah. So
okay, so we're going to go back, find the actual book, and then use it correctly to kill him.
Yeah.
But during the Plague of Boils, Imhotep somehow takes over the entire city of Cairo.
Yeah.
So,
and they've got boils on them. And that they become basically a force of zombies.
Yeah, you get a zombie horde, but you also get the funny bit of John Hannah's character just walking among them going, "Imhotep, sort of looking sideways at them.
Yeah, pretending.
Yeah.
They find an old fella who's part of the Royal Air Force.
He was in it a little bit earlier, and he had this funny bit of he's drunkenly wandering around, and he stepped into a fountain and goes, "Oh, someone must have spilled their drink." Just carrying on.
Yeah.
But he's he's saying he's suicidal. So that makes it way more depressing than he is. He's like, I should have gone down in a blaze of glory like the other chaps in my squadron. God, I miss them.
Yeah. He's regretting.
They tempt him in. He's like, "Will it be deadly?" And they're like, "Well, everyone else that's met us has died so far." And he's like, "Yes,
I'm in." And he flies them back to Hamunaptra. Imhotep conjures up this CG sandstorm, which is pretty good.
Yeah, he conjures up the giant face, sandstorm face.
Yeah, that is not bad. I think that's okay.
Probably one of the more iconic things from the franchise that stuck with the Mummy.
Yeah, mythos. I had forgotten it. I have to say, I'd forgotten that bit, but I quite liked it when it happened.
I think it's kind of so iconic they used it again in the really bad Tom Cruise one. So,
did they?
Yeah, through London.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. The plane crashes and Havelock gets his
Havelock
place of
dies.
glory.
It's actually like one of the most weirdly like well treated deaths in the entire movie, because most of them are like comedy shadows, or someone like just drops and like you're like
and having their eyes ripped
and
out.
it's just like he's not like bloodied or anything. He's just sort of slouched in the plane.
Yeah,
and they're just quiet. And like the plane starts sinking into
the plane
quicksand,
just sinks. Yes,
and they salute as it sinks. And it's like a weirdly serious scene.
Yeah,
and then they return to their comedic shenanigans of running around fighting zombies.
Yeah,
so.
I have to say, Imhotep's priests who were mummified along with him.
Yeah.
We see some pretty nasty torture, not torture, but implied torture going on early on, don't we? And basically, all
there was like they were mummified alive. What does mummifying entail? Well, they take this hot rod and stick it up your nose and stir up your brains.
It's all that. And I have to say, this bit of CG didn't bother me. I was all right with the guards because it felt Harryhausen.
Yeah.
And that was fine.
Wait, the guards moving all in unison?
Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
The weird sort of shuffling floor zombies I wasn't so much a fan of. So.
Yeah, I didn't mind that either. Maybe I got used to the CG at that point. And they find this other book, but isn't he about to? Oh, we forgot to mention at one point when they're being chased by the mummy in Cairo, I think it is. A cat scares the shit out of him.
Yeah, he's scared of cats because they're like the guardians of the underworld.
Yeah, so they keep using cats to.
Yeah, they keep shoving cats in his face. Nice. They're like, "Hey, buddy," and he
which made me laugh.
And turns into a tornado.
Did make me laugh. While they're struggling around, they find a load of gold, don't they? And. I'm just trying to.
They like basically run through a big treasure room, and they're like, "Should we take? No, we don't have time, and just carry on running."
Yeah. So when but I keep skipping around. So Evelyn reads the book, and it makes Imhotep mortal, doesn't it?
They first off they summon the guards by accident, and then they take control of the guards and use them to kill the rabid body of Anck-su-namun.
Yeah,
who's running around due to the sacrifice attempt, and then I can't remember. It's like they summon a guy on a chariot who comes and I think steals Imhotep's soul.
Well, it's not bad. It looked okay. The chariot kind of rides through, and it's like a ghostly chariot, and rides through Imhotep. But you see Imhotep being dragged off with it, while he's also still where he is.
He's also chasing the cart, like reaching out for it, like it's taken something.
So I think that's his soul or supernat. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
But essentially, he becomes mortal, and Rick stabs him through the chest, right? So that sorts him out. And he just dies, and they get all this gold, and they start picking up things. But Benny accidentally hits some lever or something.
They're like trying to sort of slowly make their way out. Benny has been looting in the background this entire time, loading up the camels. On one of his ways out, he accidentally activates a trap that sinks and seemingly explodes the whole city.
Yeah.
To the point where it does several flips in the air.
Yeah, it's mental. It's proper mental. Rick and Evelyn and Jonathan managed to get out, but Benny's kind of trapped by closing doors. And he looks around, and one of them little CG scarabs appears.
Yeah.
And he kind of shoos it away, but then loads of it. Obviously, the implication is he gets eaten alive by the scarabs. That was pretty nice.
Yeah, well, the torch fades out, and we never see. But yeah, he got ate.
Yeah, and then they all ride off on camels, and you sort of see a glint of all the treasure Benny laid up. Do you think they know the treasure's there? I wasn't quite sure.
Well, if I remember correctly, they're like rich in the next one, so I presume they very quickly found it.
Yeah.
So.
It's quite a step on the next one, if I remember rightly. They're married and they've got a family and everything, right? Yeah. So there we go. Very fun film.
Yeah, like despite its flaws, and there's a few flaws, like mostly in the CG, but I still really like it. So,
Oh, I really liked it. The CG was rough, but you have to kind of just accept it. I'm trying to. The only thing I can't remember about the film is what happened with Omid Jalili's character.
oh, he
I
got
just
a
can't
scarab.
remember.
A scarab got
Oh,
to
in his
brain.
foot. Yes, in his
It
foot.
got in his foot, and you saw like the wonky effect of it around his chest, and then it
Okay.
went up his head,
Okay.
and then he started screaming, and the next thing we saw, he like did a dead sprint straight into a wall and died.
Yeah.
So,
I don't
and
remember him
They
dying.
do say like, well, what killed him? So,
Yeah. No, I remember the scarab in his foot. Yeah, that was rough. That
Yeah.
was rough. So kind of a fun film. I liked Arnold Vosloo. You don't see much in it. I think
yeah,
it's
I
pretty
don't
good.
think he's done. Aside from these, I don't think I've seen him in anything.
I've seen him.
Oh
in...
wait, yeah, he was in G.I. Joe.
Right, okay. I've definitely seen him in a movie. No, I was just going to say a movie where they're hunting people. It's Hard Target. It was in Hard Target.
Okay.
Chasing John Claude Van
Oh
Damme.
yeah. Huh.
Who played Pick, a guy called Pick in Hard Target.
Yeah.
But yes, wasn't in that much. And he's pretty good. He's not bad at all.
Yeah, he's very charismatic considering he doesn't speak a word of English in this.
And it's
So-
quite a lot of it is him
Yeah.
in CG, half CG as well. And
Yeah.
it's pretty good. Pretty good. I thought this was solid.
It's a real fun one. Should we do numbers on it? Or-
Yeah, apparently, just one more thing. In one of the early sort of plans for this film, they were considering getting Clive Barker to direct.
Ooh.
So that would have been a proper horror film. That wouldn't
Yeah.
have been this at all. In fact, in
I
some respects...
prefer this.
Oh, so do I.
I gotta say, I don't think this would have been. I don't think they would have it would have had this sort of franchise power if it was a horror movie.
I definitely can see how you turn this story into something horrific, but it would be kind of a bit Hellraiser-y, frankly,
Yeah.
with the mummies and the scarabs and stuff. You know.
Organ stealing and
And apparently Universal were on their downers before this was made. They just hadn't been doing well. Babe Pig in the City hadn't done as well as planned, and that was causing them to be a bit short on the old cash. But they invested in this, and and apparently Tom Cruise was in the frame to play Rick, which is weird, right?
Yeah.
But Brendan Fraser was really good.
Yeah, just off the top of my head, I'm trying to think of a film earlier than this. Like, was this his big break, or was George of the Jungle?
George of the Jungle came before. In fact, I think they recruited him because George of the Jungle was one of their ones which made much more money than was planned or forecast. So that might be why he was
he
here.
did quite a few films.
And he's a fairly physical actor, so
Yeah.
it kind of suits.
Again, he's like he didn't let anyone else do stunts. So
Right. He did them all himself. Oh, apparently it says here Evelyn was named after, was a tribute, named in tribute to Lady Evelyn Carnarvon. So not Carnahan, but Carnarvon, who was the daughter of the Egyptologist Lord Carnarvon, who were, and both
he
her and
Tutankhamun, didn't he?
yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly. So, so that's where Evelyn came from.
That's it.
Yeah. So okay, I'm ready to do numbers now. So on your scale, what would you give this?
I'd give this an 8.
Yeah, I give it a 7. I did
yeah?
like. Well, no, actually, I'll say 7.5. 7.5. I did like it. The CG did take me out of it a fair bit, but I have to say, I thought the casting was superb. Absolutely superb. I liked everyone. Everyone in all of their roles, I thought were good. Including the more secondary characters, I just thought it was fun. The Americans,
Yeah, all
Benny,
the Americans were very funny.
Yeah.
Especially because they basically worked as a Greek choir
Yeah.
in most scenes.
They did.
Where it's
didn't
like
they?
they're just sitting there playing cards and they're like, so how are you going to find Hamunaptra? And Brendan Fraser's like, how do you know we're looking for Hamunaptra? And they all just point at Jonathan, who's sitting playing cards.
Because he told us.
Yeah.
That was fun. Yeah.
There's that one bit where Rick's like, okay, I'm going to go out find the mummy. You guys are going to help. Evelyn, you're going to stay here. And they all start talking at once. He just throws Evelyn over his shoulder, chucks her in the bedroom, locks the doors. It's like, okay, you're all staying and like watching here, and you're coming with me. Oh, well, I don't want it. You're coming with me. Okay.
Yeah, nice. I thought this was like
the bit where he just throws a chair. Like, he's just, like, underarm throws a chair at Benny and completely takes him out. That just cracked me up.
Yeah.
So.
There's lots of good, nice touches to this. I quite like... There's a whole subgenre of, essentially, Indiana Jones rip-offs or you know, trying to follow... And I quite like a lot of them, you know. There's quite a lot I like. This is probably one of the ones I like most. The Mummy, but another one I really like is one called Savage Islands, sometimes called Savage Islands, sometimes called Nathan Hayes, which is set in the South Seas, you know, Australia, New Zealand, Tonga, that kind of thing. Again, it's like the late 19th century. It's kind of that era with Tommy Lee Jones of all people. That's kind of fun, but there are several others. There's a few Tom Selleck did that are not bad as well. One called Quickly Down Under. So I kind of like those kind of films. It was I wish there was more action, adventure, rompy. There are some. Yeah. Uncharted's probably a recent one, for example.
Yeah.
But yeah, The Mummy is a really fun one. Really fun, memorable one. Stands up.
I'd say it's the best of the sort of knockoff Indiana Jones things.
Yeah,
it's also one of those remakes that like is distinct enough that it's memorable as separate from the original.
Yeah,
like The Thing.
Yeah,
which oddly you could argue is like the sort of the opposite of this, where the original Thing was kind of an actiony thing bit, and then the remake was horror, and then the original of this was horror, and this one's actually.
Yeah, so. Good point. Yeah, this was a good fun romp, basically, and I remember the sequel was pretty good as well.
Yeah, the first sequel was pretty good. I remember there was a cartoon show.
I don't remember that.
I vaguely remember watching it on TV, and it was more like the sequel in that it was their kid and there was like a cursed bracelet thing.
Okay.
So
yeah, Scorpion King I don't really remember other than the really, really bad CG at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, really awful. I do remember that. But I don't remember much about the film. But The Mummy Returns I quite liked. I always felt, I think, that The Mummy Returns and The Mummy were two of a kind. You know, the quality, it didn't drop. It felt like a nice continuation and so on. So, I quite like. I can't remember the plot, but I do remember enjoying it quite a bit. So, and this is a memorable film. A lot of the moments I remembered quite distinctly, even though I don't think I've watched it since a few years after it came out.
Yeah, I think it's been about a decade since I've seen it.
I think it might be 2 decades for me, I think. But it was quite memorable, and the characters are memorable and stuff like that. So that's a testament, right? That's a testament. All right, let's wind up there. So bye from me.
Bye.